Thank you very much, Jane. You know, we're in the kitchen this morning, and of course we have one of our favorite in-studio guests. This is my mom, Sue-Ann. She's in here this morning because we're talking about my favorite dessert of all time. And she knows this. Whenever I go home, this is what I always request. And it's something that's pretty simple to make, Mom, right?
Correct. It's very easy.
It's called Danish puff, and we're thinking, Danish puff, why not make it for President's Day? President's Day weekend is coming up. So here's a little sample of what it's supposed to look like. And this is going to be the finished product that we'll get to in just a minute. But we're going to talk about what process is going into making this. So, Mom, tell me about how hard this is to make for your favorite son.
It's very easy. We've already done the crust, and the crust is just a cube of butter, a cup of flour, and 2 tablespoons of water. And so you melt your butter and add your flour and your water, and then I just kind of use my fingertips to spread that out in the bottom of the pan, and we usually do 2 of them. And no, that's not one for Stuart and one for everybody else.
One for me and one for the rest of the family. And it's so simple ingredients that you'd have at home for this bottom layer of a crust, and then you just kind of push it out with your fingers?
Correct. Okay. That's right.
It's not like I've never seen her make this before, let's be honest. Okay, so what do we have you're stirring up in here, Mom?
We have another cube of butter that's melted, and we've add a cup of water and a half a teaspoon of vanilla and a cup of flour. And I'm going to have Stuart stir in the last 2 eggs. And if any of you have ever made any puff pastry things before, like cream puffs, you'll realize that you mix the eggs in one at a time and then stir. And then, so we're giving that job to Stuart this morning because we always like to make him stir when we come. So.
And you always complain that I don't stir well enough, Mom. So we're stir away.
Mix it in really good.
Now, should you use a whisk or is the wooden spoon okay?
The wooden spoon's just fine. And typically, when we're at home, this is a little warmer than what we have it right now, and so it's forming a ball, and you're having to stir really hard. This is in liquid because of it's cooling down.
Would you want this on the stove left in the heat then? Is that what?
No, I take it off the heat, but I'm stirring while it's still really hot. And so it's time to add that other egg. So be mindful of that at home, that it's going to be a thicker and it's going to be harder to stir, and you're doing the right thing. We're just having a little fun here this morning with this being off temperature. So
we'll kind of set this aside for now. We're going to give a little preview of what we'll be talking about in a minute. This is the delicious finished product. And Brandy's going to be coming in the kitchen in just a minute. We'll be talking about this favorite dessert of mine. And the nice thing is, so we add the second layer, and then we're going to add some frosting on it coming up in a little bit later in the show. And then also some almonds on top, right, Mom?
That's right. And actually, Stuart's favorite part, the frosting.
I love the frosting. All right, we'll be back in the kitchen in just a minute. For now, we'll send it back to you, Brandy.